Let's do this. All right, Brandon and Kim here from 3-Bit Life with our very first retro reveal.
What's that?
A retro reveal is when we at 3-Bit Life bring to you, the internet viewing public, games and gems from various countries around the world. Like this little gem, Super Famicon Wrestling X Premium from Japan. And what we'll do is we'll show you the box. This is all official, baby. We don't play games here at 3-Bit Life.
Well, actually, we do play games.
That's actually all we do. But figuratively speaking, we don't play games here at 3-Bit Life. Okay. We bring you the box. This is an official version of this game from Super Famicon Wrestling X. We're going to show you the box art, we're going to show you the game, then we're going to show you a little bit of gameplay as well. And maybe we'll be able to pique your interest in retro games like ours.
Sounds good.
Interest peaked?
Peaked.
All right. This is Super Famicon Wrestling X Premium. I'm trying to say it a little bit slower next time. But it's a wrestling game from Japan, and you can tell it's a wrestling game because the guy's wearing drawers and boots and a robe, and most men don't dress like that. Right?
I'm not gonna say yay or nay on that one.
Okay, so most men don't dress like that. So this is a pro wrestling game, actually. It's made by Human Entertainment. Now, you may know Human, some of you guys out there, from games such as Clock Tower, Dragon's Earth, Dream Basketball, Dunk and Hoop, Human Grand Prix 3, Human Grand Prix 4.
Let me stop you for a second there. None of those sound familiar.
Don't worry, you're not alone. Most people don't know what the heck Human is, what they made, and why they made it. But what we do know is they made this awesome fighting wrestling game called Super Famicon Wrestling X Premium. It is the crown jewel of wrestling games on a Super Nintendo console. Now, you may notice something different about this box. And some of you may be scratching your head. Some of you may be scared and confused as to why this box is vertical and not horizontal. Because our Super Nintendo games look like that. Their Super Nintendo games look like this. Why is that? We don't really know, but I like it. And that's because this logo here at the bottom means Super Famicom. Super Famicom is a Japanese name for the SNES console in Japan. Did you know that, Kim?
No, I didn't.
Well, see, now you know. And even on the back side of the box over here, it has Super Famicom in there because this is a Super Famicom game. This is the back side here. And you got screenshots. You have the belt here, which is actually you win that in the heavyweight championship mode again. This is the Famicom Wrestling belt. So you actually win that belt when you win the championship mode on this game, actually.
Well, let me ask you then.
Well, ask me.
The championship mode on this game and that belt, are they real?
No. They're a creation of the imagination of the developers of Human.
I see. Somehow I feel disappointed.
You should be. Now, so this is the box. If you want to know how we got this, we really can't tell you, but we had a special ninja deliver it to our home, actually, from Japan. He showed up with a full black outfit on, threw a throwing star at me and Kim. We got out of the way, and then what we saw left behind after the smoke cleared was this box. Or you can say you can believe that I got it off of eBay. One or the other, it's your choice.
One sounds a little bit more plausible.
You think so?
Yeah.
I like the ninja story better.
I didn't say which one.
Aha! So, this is the box. This is what came in the box because we conveniently opened it up for you. The instructions. The skill equipment of Super Famicon Wrestling X Premium. And a cartridge. Because you can't play it without that. So what are the instructions include? Well, they got pictures, breakdown of the gameplay, breakdown of the referees. If you didn't know about Famicom Wrestling X, it's probably the most deep, customizable wrestling game ever created. All the way down to the point where you can actually select your referee.
Wow.
And check it out, not only can you select them, but the referees have different personalities. They're like, some of them actually quick count. So they're good count fast with their 1, 2, 3s.
Okay.
Some of them actually allow you to cheat more than others. Yeah, so each referee has his own little personality, and you can choose them, and they have a big impact on what happens with the match.
Yeah, so I mean, it seems like this is something that is definitely meant to spend a lot of time with.
It is actually, and speaking of lots of time spent, this game probably has the deepest wrestling creator wrestler mode ever on an SNES game. Now is your creator wrestler mode deep, but you can save up to 80 wrestling edits on there. 80 creator characters plus the 100 that it came with.
Wow.
Yeah, so you can have a roster at the end of the day of over 180 wrestlers to play around with on your SNES console.
So you can literally make any wrestler you wanted to.
Yes, you can, because the game features a ton of wrestling moves. And speaking of wrestlers and moves, we have the skill equipment of Famicom Wrestling X. What this is, Kim, is a strategy guide that came with the game that features the complete roster and their movesets.
I see. Okay, I'm a little bit upset about something here.
What's that?
Why does the front of it say all that in English? And the inside doesn't have A bit of it.
This is the frustrating the Yankees like ourselves from buying their games.
It didn't work on you.
No, I didn't. Wait, no, it did. There you go. English, I tell you. Now,
it's all this Japanese you're looking at.
That's what it is. So yeah, it basically is a gigantic strategy guide / moves list of every wrestler on the game. You see a sprite, you see their moveset, and you see their little affiliation up in the corner. But each wrestler actually has his own promotion on the game. Now, I want to give you a little bit of a nugget about this game's roster, because it's one of the controversial parts of Fire Pro Wrestling. The roster features over 100 different wrestlers. You may wonder where those 100 different wrestlers come from.
I do.
Well, they actually come from real life.
But you said earlier that these were all made up.
I did. They are all made up, sort of. See, apparently there's a massive loophole in the Japanese copyright law, for at least in 1996 there were, where you can have a ton of real people in your game, but if you don't name them right, you can get away with it completely. So this game actually features wrestlers like Hulk Hogan, The Undertaker, features Dr. Death Steve Williams, Johnny Ace, Sabu. It features a ton of real life wrestlers on this game. Classics. In addition to all the Japanese wrestlers and promotions and features.
Yeah.
But what they did was, instead of calling him The Undertaker, they basically called like Dark Man Blaker or something to that effect. And so they basically got away with having tons of real wrestlers, their full likenesses, full movesets, taunts, and everything else. But they changed their names so they didn't get sued. So good on Human for cruising a massive roster of legends and wrestlers without having to pay for any of the licensing rights.
So pretty much, they have 100 people that actually do exist, and people would buy this game because those characters or those guys are really popular both in Japan and America.
Exactly.
And they were able to get away with not having to pay anybody a cent for their likeness at all because they renamed them.
Yes.
That is smart.
The way to good business is phone book names. So, there you have it, everybody. Super Fire Pro Wrestling X Premium on the SNES / Super Famicom in Japan. This is the box. That's the cartridge. That's the instructions / guide. And get ready for some gameplay because it's coming up next. Okay, guys, we promised you gameplay, and here it is. Super Fire Pro Wrestling X for the SNES / Super Famicom. As you can see, as you let the game continue to go, it will show you some little characters, models, some information on them, bios.
Are these the real characters, or are these the fake ones that are like, renamed?
These are the renamed characters. There are nothing but fake characters on there, technically speaking. You remember we talked about before how they got away from how they escaped the copyright laws of Japan by kind of naming them different things, or making them look exactly like real wrestlers. Well, here they are in all their little sprite glory. So here are some of the game modes. I'm just going to cycle through some of these things here. This is a one night's dream match. These are the matches that you dreamed about, Kim.
I don't think I've been dreaming about them.
Oh, you don't know, but you've been dreaming about these little ugly sprites going to work.
Are there any of these modes in particular ones that people should be looking for? Or?
Oh, this is just some of the match types right here. They got like Elimination Battle, Hyper Battle Royale. Not just a regular Battle Royale, but a Hyper one. They got, and this is the one here at the right, the Wrestle Edit. This game mode here is like one of the biggest modes of Super Fire Pro Wrestling X series and the Super Fire Pro Wrestling series in general, because we talked about, I think we mentioned it a little bit earlier, that it's like one of the biggest edit modes ever done in a wrestling game at this time when it first came out. And so here are some of our options for our matches and things.
I see.
Now I want to make a quick correction. I was calling it Super Fire Pro Wrestling X Premium a bunch of times a little bit earlier, but actually the game is called Super Fire Pro Wrestling X, not Premium. Premium came out a few months after X, added a few features, added a few wrestlers. This is not that game. This is X. The game that I showed you was X. So I want to make that correction because we here at 3-Bit Life are perfectionists when it comes to the history and the knowledge of the video game industry. So
I think you should speak for yourself on that one.
I am.
Yes.
So here's the scare select screen. It's got a couple of guys in it. I mean 100. This game features 100 different wrestlers like we said earlier.
I was expecting the character select to look different than this though.
What were you expecting out of the character select screen?
I guess I was expecting to see a bigger splash of names without so much background, and then perhaps, I don't know, I was just expecting more information on it instead of, a rule of about 16 or so. Yeah,
I know, it's weird. They put it into like little chunks. And actually it's divided into like companies.
But these aren't real characters, technically.
No, but they are divided into companies just like they would be if it wasn't real. Yeah, so what you see right in the little green box is like his name, right? And then underneath the green box is like his organization. and then the blue boxes are full of the characters' actual names.
Okay, so what's in the green box?
Okay, the green box with his head next to it, that's actually going to be like his name. And then the one under that is actually his wrestling affiliation, his company.
So that's the company. So then everything else underneath that is who belongs to that supposed company.
Exactly. Now you see in the background scrolling, like those little pictures, those are actually the logos for their organization. That's like something world written right there. Mm-hmm. That's their organization. So as you cycle through, you begin to see like the different stuff. Check it out. That guy, some of these guys here are actually I recognize. Mm-hmm. That's Super Delphine. Mm-hmm. Like some of these guys I recognize, and
obviously we know who that is.
And I think we know who these guys are, everybody. So if you wanted to know how to get away from copyright law, you can make this price look exactly like the real wrestlers and just change the name. So that's Great Muta right there. That's like Rick Steiner. Who's that? The next one? That's Scott Steiner. So it's the Steiner brothers on the game as a tag team.
Cute.
They're matching neon green little tights.
All part of the WWC.
That's right. WWC, baby. Not World Championship Wrestling, but World Wrestling Championships. See? So I think in this video I'm gonna choose not him, I'm gonna choose the other guy in the orange draws, not that orange draws guy. I got this another wrestler I'm gonna choose who's supposed to be like Keiji Muto actually. Mm-hmm. So as you see on social media, I was kind of confused as to where I was, but eventually I found there's my man right there with the headband. Okay. That's actually supposed to be Keiji Muto, the young Keiji Muto. If you don't know who Keiji Muto is, he's a Japanese legendary wrestler, multiple championship star, some organizations, and I'm gonna fight against fake Hulk Hogan.
Okay. Folk Hogan.
Yeah, Folk Hogan. Okay. Versus Keiji Bluto. All right. So the match starts out. You get a taunt from both wrestlers. I think that was adorable. These wrestlers does a little taunt. Hulk Hogan even did his little flex if you know it's like that.
Yeah, I was looking at that.
Yeah, that's the don't sue me flex because I don't have a license for myself. All right, so the match starts and Hulk Hogan's going for his moves. Now, what you notice about this game immediately is that it's like a little bit of a more methodical pace than you would see in the American wrestling games that were coming out at the same time. Methodical, and then they kind of walk around instead of run.
So slow pace.
Yeah, kind of a slow paced little wrestling match. The game encourages you to build up your moveset. Now, what I mean by that is that at the beginning of a match, when you start doing your moves, you can't go right to your biggest, baddest, best wrestling moves that you have because they'll start reversing and countering you. And I think eventually I start trying that out just so I can get countered actually to see what it looks like. But yeah, it was. Right now I'm doing like quick holds, so the game has a kind of rock paper scissors system with the grappling with a strong, medium, and large grapples. Mm-hmm. If you do small grapples at the very beginning of it, you're kind of safe. You can land those moves unless they do it before you. Mm-hmm. And timing is everything in Super Famicon Wrestling. But if you try bigger moves, they'll start countering and reversing you because your guys have too much energy, so you have to save those for later on. So right there, I try a powerbomb and Hulk Hogan automatically flips me out of the move.
Okay, I see what you mean.
You see what I mean? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Now that one he let me land because I don't know why Hogan's kind of giving up right now. But yeah, I think he's let me land his power driver too. Yeah, he is actually. In theory, though, I should be able to land these moves at the beginning of the match.
Okay. So if you were playing against another human.
Right. It'll be much more competitive in that. Or if I jack the difficulty level up really high, I guess I would fight more like a human. But yeah, usually you can't land big moves at the very beginning of the match. They'll start countering you.
Okay, so let me ask you something about this ring. Are there any ringside moves?
There are. They're not ringside specific moves though. So while we can throw each other out of the ring and like fight out there, we don't have ringside specific moves though. So like I can't like slam up against the post outside the ring. Yeah. That's a little too advanced for this game.
I guess considering what year it came out.
Yeah, exactly. So here's some strikes you can throw. Another cool thing about the gameplay is that you get a live referee, which is something very different than wrestling games at this time had. I remember that. The referee's actually in the ring with us. He got his own sprites, his own animations. And he actually pays attention to stuff as well. So like, say if I did a submission hold too close to the ropes, I think he did it earlier, he'll actually break that submission hold because we're too close to the ropes actually. Yeah, automatically.
That's
so
cool.
It follows the real rules of wrestling like really, really, really closely actually. Oh, not there. That's another virus with it. Be messing up moves again. One of the criticisms of Super Famicon Wrestling series actually was that it's so hard to freaking land strikes because the sprites have to be actually like landed up with each other. So land punches and kicks is difficult because the sprites, if they're not perfect, they would not land.
So they have to be lined up pretty closely.
Yeah, for the punches and kicks. Grapples are interesting because I didn't say it earlier, but if you notice, each guy, see right there, he broke that hold up because I was too close to the ropes actually. Okay. But the grappling is pretty simple. What you do is you bump into each other and they automatically start grappling. They both put their little hands in there and grab as soon as you bump into each other. So see it there? That's how you trigger and initiate. And then it becomes a rock, paper, scissors, strong versus medium versus large grapples. See who gets to win. And I just got to win. And then after the match, Hulk Hogan got mad at me and he dropped me a shoulder breaker. And he's salty, obviously, but he also racist too. I know, right? It must have been Hulk Hogan's roid rage kicking in from back in those days. Yeah. Prayers vitamins were the only thing he was eating.
Funny. They actually call him Dogen.
They do?
Yes.
Oh, so see, now you guys, if you didn't know about Kim over here, she's a Japanese student, Japanese graduate. This girl's a master of the Asian arts and languages. Practically a ninja. So she can read a lot of this kanji that I can't. So
yeah, they're calling him Dogen.
Yeah, so they're calling him Dogen, actually.
Yes.
They're literally...
Like, we were joking about Fogan, but...
He's actually called Dogen. That's good, man. So this is the second match. I had it set for a 2 out of 3. So basically that's what we're doing. So we got another match going on right now.
So wait, one full match lasts how long was that?
I don't know.
It was over 2 minutes, right?
Yeah. It can go for as long as it has to go, really.
Oh, really? Okay,
yeah.
So there's no time limit on
Yeah,
that.
you can set a time limit. I probably did at the beginning. I just don't even know if I did it or not. But you can set time limits for it, or we could have the unlimited time. So now Dogen's getting in some offense right now, as you can see.
Well, now that we have his official name.
Yeah, Dogen. Dogen with the body slam. Okay. So what do you think about the sprite work, Kim?
Surprisingly, even when they're overlapped, I can still tell kind of where one begins and one ends.
Yeah.
I'm kind of surprised that it's that easy. I wasn't expecting it to be as detailed as it is.
Yeah. It's actually very surprising. Yeah, that's
the shadows bother me, though.
What's wrong with the shadows?
Oh, the fact that they're going in and out like that. Why are they so blinky?
You notice that I noticed that on a lot of older games, even especially starting on the Nintendo when they try to do shadows. Nintendo was wrong for that back in the day. They shouldn't even try them shadows. Them things was blinking and flickering and slowing the game down, and the shadows was a big deal. And so you see it carried over to the Super Nintendo console, aka Super Famicon. Yeah, the shadows are kind of blinking in and out like that. I guess it's because they're following them the way they're following them, and maybe if they had a solid shadow, it would probably cause some processing problems more than likely.
Yeah, I'm not really sure how that works. It's just something that I noticed. I've been looking at this entire time I've been watching this match.
Or it could be a situation where they want to do a transparency for the shadows, right? But rather than actually having a transparency effect following around, they probably couldn't. So you just kept turning it on and off, so you can give you epilepsy.
Okay, I was gonna say. Interestingly, now when Dogen just went out of the ring, right?
Yeah.
His shadow did not follow him into that white part on the outside of the ring, but it got back to him when he hit the ground.
Because it was attached to his feet. So. Yes, Super Power Wrestling, they carry their shadows with them everywhere they go on their feet. And there's a count out. Check it out. So
I was looking at that in the last match. That when you went out.
Look at the referee. He's just serious about it too, man. 7, 8, 9. Oh, 9 out the ring.
Interesting. So it looks like when Dogen went back into the ring, until he actually landed all the way in on the blue area of the ring, the count was still going.
Right. So you can get counted out at the very end. It's very heartbreaking when you're standing on the ropes and can't get in and get counted out.
Yeah.
That's happened before. Yeah. So as you can see, the detailed control system more. You can actually take, I just grabbed them and flipped them and rolled them. You can roll them into different positions so you can do different things to them actually. So there's different moves for them when they're laying on their stomachs versus when they're laying on their backs. Yeah.
So I would guess this game, considering the year it came out, was much more advanced than the American versions of any wrestling games.
Yeah. From the gameplay things I've talked about in this game, basically I would say 90% of them didn't exist in American wrestling games.
Wow. Okay.
So all the stuff I'm doing right now, from everything from the dedicated buttons for pinning, the various moves you can do from the top of the legs, bottom of the legs. I just won again because I'm a beast. I told them that time, now get up. But just the gameplay in general is so advanced in Super Pro Wrestling. It really is a gem of a wrestling game, a gem of a video game in general. One of the biggest bad Super Nintendo games I think came out for the system. Period. And again, 100 wrestlers, 80 different creative wrestler slots. So you got a roster of 180 people to mess around with.
You did mention that they also had the different style of referees as well.
Exactly. So that referee there, you saw him. He was more of a balanced, generic referee.
Yeah.
So he did everything kind of according to the rule book. But there's other referees that will allow you to cheat more. So if I actually got a weapon from under the ring, which you can't get weapons on this game, if I got a weapon, I could smash him upside the head, and Hogan or Dogen wouldn't have had an issue with it.
Right.
So yeah, there are just some. The amount of options is dizzying on this game, and we didn't even get into the edit part.
So I guess because of the Dogen issue, this game never came here to America officially.
No, this game, Super Famicom Wrestling X, never came to America.
Okay.
Probably because the Japanese people wanted to stay out of jail. In the courtroom.
Well, I think this has been very much more educational than I originally assumed it would have been. There's a lot more to the game than you would think for a regular Japanese wrestling game on SNES.
That's it. And I think that's one of the things that kind of surprised me when I played it for the very first time. It's just a lot of content. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this, experiencing this with us, enjoying this retro review. We hope you enjoyed it. And if you want to hear more about it, if you want to see more game videos like this, subscribe to us, like us, and do all the wonderful things you know to do for your favorite YouTubers. 3-Bit Life, baby.
Thanks for watching.
Yeah.